Have you got a sales team or salespeople that you're managing and they seem to not be performing? Your cost of acquisition is going up simply because the sales team is not closing down all the leads. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down 3 simple tactics that you need to be able to manage your team effectively to drive down the acquisition cost, getting their closing percentages higher, and also focusing on revenue per employee. So how you can actually have the maximum revenue from every single salesperson. And then how you can make it predictable and how you can make sure from these people that you've got in your team, whether they're setters or closer, when they're not performing month on month, you don't know what's coming next. It drives anxiety. It drives you to feel nervous. You don't know what's going to happen. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you and explain what to do and how to fix it. If you don't know who I am, my name's Usman Kayani, and I'm the founder of Guided Growth, UK's leading sales consultancy. And I grew up poor as shit. And now whilst building my business and helping countless other businesses with their sales function, I show everything that I'm learning and doing with my clients along the way so you can implement it right here for your teams for no charge at all. Now, we've generated over 30 million of new sales revenue for our clients. And a lot of the times they come to us and they're stuck in a rut. Their team's not performing. And there's 3 simple tactics that you can implement today, which I'll break down for you, which will be one-to-ones, culture, and driving high performance. So let's get into it. Firstly, one-to-ones. Now, most people do one-to-ones sporadically. What I will always advise for our sales managers or CEOs and founders to always do the sales one-to-one with the sales reps or the setters at the same time every single week. The reason why you want it at the same time every single week is emotionally, a lot of sales reps, they might need to vent. They might have an issue. It gives them the consistency of knowing that that's their time where they get to check in with you. If you're the right leader for them, they'll be looking forward to that meeting. They'll be wanting to be mentored, they'll be wanting to be led, and they'll have things they're struggling with. They'll have questions about training, they'll have questions about the team, they'll have questions about commission and money and everything else that a salesperson will be thinking about. Psychologically, they need that time in the diary to look forward to. But also, it's not just for them in the sense of support. It also creates a sense of pressure, because if you know that you've got a meeting at 4 p.m. every Thursday, you're now thinking, I need to make sure those numbers are in. I need to make sure those KPIs are in. It's no different to, I have a coach for my physique. Every single Thursday morning, I send in my pictures for my physique, send in my weight. And there's times where I haven't eaten right. And you know what I'll do sometimes? I'll do a bit of extra cardio before the check-in days. I might do an extra run. I might clean up my diet. I need to make sure that I hit the weight, because if I don't, he's going to take away my calories. Because if I'm not losing weight in the right amount of food that he's given me, he's going to take away more food. Very simply, it's not just about punishment, but also with the team, when you're managing them, you want to make sure that there's a sense of pressure there. So they're looking forward to that weekly one-on-one. Because at the end of every one-to-one, you would have got a commitment. Now let's move in towards the commitments of the one-to-one. With the commitment of the one-to-one, you're going to ask them, what can you commit to over this next week? And they'll commit to a certain amount of closing ratio, a certain amount of calls being taken, a certain amount of dials, a certain amount of quality. However you're going to measure it, I would suggest putting something in quantitative and qualitative, so you've got both sides. And then when you actually meet the next week, the first thing after you find out how they are and how they're doing, you can say, so how are you doing for your numbers? They will know. You'll be able to see just from their energy, their body language, and how they speak to you if they're doing good. With salespeople, if they're avoiding you, they're quiet, they're not really looking to learn, they are feeling shy, they've been because week on week, when the results haven't come in, their behavior will change. And it's for you to be able to find that one-to-one and lift them up and be that right mentor and leader for them. I recently did an event with a sales leader. He brought in all of his sales reps. He had 8 sales reps. We brought them in. And the commitment component is just such a key player towards driving performance. So in the one-to-ones, you want to make sure that you're getting KPIs. You want to make sure that you're getting commitment. But also, this is one of the most important things. The one-to-one is like a therapy session. You feel as though you are got to always talk about numbers. You got to always talk about, hey, this is how you need to do this thing. This is how you need to say this thing. The truth is, a one-to-one is actually just you genuinely caring about that sales rep. You're sitting down with them and you're saying, so what's going on? If they're having bad performance, the first thing that you would double check is, how's things outside work? What most leaders will do is only focus on what they can see. We don't know what someone's going through outside in their life. We don't know if they've got pressure at home, are they missing their bills, are they earning enough, are their basic needs covered? So you need to always make sure that your sales reps feel cared for. So by you asking those questions, you'll be able to manage them far better. And also, it'll be incredibly embarrassing when you put so much pressure on them and then you come to find out that their home life is just a mess, that they over a reason that they couldn't even control. So you just want to make sure that everything is good. And a good one-to-one is all about caring. It's all about getting commitment and managing them to the KPIs. Now, the next thing that you're going to look at if your sales team's not performing is the culture. Now, this is down to the culture that you create. We always feel as though it's others messing up our culture. It's them doing it. It's actually you as the leader who creates the culture. So the first thing that I would ask is, do you have your mission, vision, values? Do you have them written down? Years ago, I read Traction, the book, and it made me realize how I needed to have my mission, vision, and values, because I connected that to when years ago, back in 2015, when I worked at Virgin Active. I remember when I started work there, the first 2 days was all about indoctrination of Virgin Active. They're going to give you the history, why they opened their first gym, how they opened, what their values are. And at the time, I was like, how's this important? I just want to sell some membership. I just want to make some money. But what you realize is they install that belief of what the company's about. And now when we look at a lot of big businesses, when I worked at other companies that had mission, vision, and values, they always found a way to align everyone towards it. When I worked at smaller businesses, there was a business that I worked at 3 years ago. It was an 8-figure business, but everyone hated being there. It turns out they had no mission, vision, and values. They were never spoken about. They were never around. And come to find out, when I spoke to the founder, he did actually have them. He just didn't know how to articulate them. He wrote them out with someone in marketing and branding years ago. But over 10 years of his business, the churn rate of staff, he stopped putting energy towards mission and vision and values and started just focusing on actually just pushing the team and creating a high pressure environment. And when you have a high pressure environment without high performance and culture, what happens is the team will eventually think, I hate this, I hate my job, I don't like coming into work, I'm not enjoying being here, I'm just going to leave. So you just want to make sure that your mission, vision, values are clear. So when you're writing your mission, everyone knows why you're doing what you're doing. What are you doing it for? What is the deeper reason that you exist? Now, my mission is truly, it connects to when I first started out in a call center at 17, 18 years old. I didn't have a lot of money. And when I first had the feeling of making sales commission, it changed the way I viewed money, because I grew up incredibly poor. Having a £1,500 salary was alone enough to make me feel like that is a lot of money for me. But then when I doubled it in commission, that changed my perspective completely. Because when I received £1,500 in commission as a teenager, I didn't know what to do with the money. I was confused. I bought all these trainers and I bought G-Star jeans and all this garbage. I didn't need any of it, but I didn't even know what to do with the money because I never had the money before. I never knew what you could do with money. So, but it changed my perspective, because what it showed me was simply by using the words that I have, because in school, my writing was so poor, I developed the skill of speaking far better. So when I went to the call center, I already had some sort of natural ability to speak, mainly because there was a deficit in other areas. But now when I'm in the call center and I'm making sales, it changed the way that I actually viewed money. So this is why my mission has been connected all the way to actually what I do now and help other people, other salespeople, other sales companies. And it's been that integral part for my business. And every time you have anyone join, they know my mission. They know it on a deeper level. The vision is all about where we're going. So you can do like a 10-year picture of where you want to go. It's very hard a lot of the times to articulate where you're going to be going in 10 years. But if you can truly think, what would be the maximum? What's the absolute best? If I did not fail, what would I do? And if you could think like that, how big would you dream? How big would you think? Would you say, I want to make 100 million? If you knew that you couldn't fail, would you say that you would make 1 billion? And then if you can truly have that vision and articulate that to the team and your belief in your work, it will carry over. Because if you're a business owner and you're making a few $100,000 a month and you're getting just over a million, 2 million a year, your goal might be to get to 10 million. And you can see it. You can think, right, if we just do a bit more of this, we'll get to the 10 million goal. Because a lot of business owners that we speak to who are between the 1 and 5 million mark, their number one goal is always, we want to hit 10 million. We want to hit 8 figures. But I can tell you this, as soon as you hit those 8 figures, your natural thought is expansion. Because if that thought process got you to 1 to 10 million, you're naturally going to think, how can I help more people? How can I create even more change? So then your vision might be on 100 million. But it's truly good to think, where would you go? And then when you can truly believe that you can get those stats and those results, share those with the team, and truly believe in you. Now, values are the last thing. Like, some core values in our business are speed, integrity, honesty, commitment. We've got values in our business. Just like one of those values at the moment that we've already been speaking about as a team has been speed of execution, because how efficient can we be with our time? How organized can we be with our time? And then what happens is when I'm managing the team members, it's not about, hey, why is this task not done? It's, well, if we value speed in this business, we value efficiency, how come you're not living by our core value? And we express those core values in our mission statement at every part. We mention it all the time. We mention it in our daily meetings. We might mention it in our recruitment and our job ads. We might mention it on our one-to-ones. We might have company posters. Every time someone's onboarding to the company, we share our mission, vision, and values. And what happens is sales reps and the staff in general into your business would come on board and truly be aligned in what you're doing. And there's not two different voices. Because if a sales rep is on the phone, a lot of the times they're one of the first people that the prospect will speak to before they work with your business. If they're saying the exact same thing as your marketing says, and the exact same thing as you say when you might coach them, now you have brand standards. Now you have a thing where everything is the same across the board. And that's how you truly attract people. It looks professional. You professionalize your business by making sure everyone is stuck with their mission, vision, and values. And the last thing that you're going to do when your team is not performing is thinking about high performance culture. Now, how you create high performance culture for your sales team, and specifically for the team that's struggling, I start showing them testimonials. I show them the testimonials from our clients, and the belief goes up every single time. Imagine every single morning when they come into work and you have your meeting, you play 1, 2, 3, or 4 testimonials from your clients. You play those testimonials out loud of the client saying, I've achieved this, I now feel like this. You can do the epiphany bridge where someone will say, I used to feel like this, I used to feel internally stressed about that, externally that was my position, and then I was thinking about working with you guys and this was stopping me, but then I took the jump and I did it, and now I'm here. And by using that model and showing your guys testimonials all the time, it will change their belief. You'll start to have sales reps on the phones and on the dialer and on Zoom calls, and they're speaking to the prospects, not just say, hey, I think this is the right offer for you. And when they get an objection, they're handling the objection. The belief in the voice will be so different because they're going to be saying, no, I know this will work for you. I've seen it work for so many others. As soon as you're in, we will make sure we will do all these things for you. We will make sure that we get to X result. Because you speak directly to them and they hear your belief, they hear it in your voice. You can't fake belief. And when belief is instilled in you, because the leadership of the sales team, aka you listening, is showing those all the time. The testimonials are being played continuously. Every time in our Slack channel, we get great feedback from our customer success managers, our account managers. We take that feedback and we also share it in the sales team. And we share it in the Slack channel and we tell them, look at the great work you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because they already got commission for it. But imagine a sales rep feeling like, I'm getting paid for this. I'm getting a great commission because they've created a great opportunity for me. But I'm also changing people's lives. I'm also helping a lot of people. It covers every part for them. And because you would have attracted the right talent with your mission, vision, and values, and then they see people achieve those things with your business, with your values, it just installs that high performance for them. The next thing is the morning meetings. Morning meetings that we spoke about where you would actually speak about the testimonials. The morning meetings are just such a big component because there's days where you think everyone's performing well, sales are great, I don't need to do a morning meeting, I don't need to kickstart the day, I don't need to drive performance today. But you know what happens? That takes a toll over time. People will slip, not because of the bad day. It's the build up towards a bad day. It's all about prevention, not cure. And how you prevent bad days is by instilling those good behaviors every single day. So that morning meeting, it might just have sometimes a 20-30 minute cadence where it's every single day. But I'll show the testimonials, I'll give good shout outs, I'll reward good behavior. I might go over a previous sales call that they've done. But that morning meeting that we have an entire structure for, because if you want to see a bit more on how to actually run your morning meetings, I've made an in-depth video. You'll see it below in the description. If you go in the description below, you'll see a clear video which will show you our link to our community. In the community, you'll be able to access the entire training of how to run your daily meetings. So if you want that training for free, just see the link below. But those daily meetings will absolutely be a game changer for you. And the last one for today, to make sure your team get out this rut, is accountability. Best way to drive accountability is actually by asking them, what can you commit to? And when they tell you what they can commit to and they are willing to do for that next week, that next month, it's going to be far more powerful because they came up with the numbers. Let me give you an example. Let's say the closing ratio for a sales rep is 17%. We want to get him to 30%. That's our number one goal because we know he's dropping a lot of revenue for the business by him closing at 17%. So I'll say to him simply, what do you think you can get in this next week? And if he was to say, I'm going to try 18%, I'm going to try 20%. And I think, no, he can do 25. He's had the training. He knows how. He's done a good job in the past. He just needs to get out the rut. You know what I'll say? I won't say, I want you to do 25. What I will say is, do you think you can do more? What more could you do? And then he'll say, I don't know, maybe 24, 25. And I'll be like, you can do 25? That's at my total change. You can do 25? And he's like, yeah, I'll try. I'm like, are you going to commit to it? And then I'll get them to commit to the number that they said, rather than me saying, I need 25% from you. I like that consultative approach because it's far better to hold someone accountable for the numbers that they gave you, not the numbers that it was forced upon them. So that's a really simple way to be able to drive accountability. We have an entire accountability module for our sales teams, how we actually ramp them up, how we train them, how we actually bring businesses in, and we actually explode their sales simply by using these sales tactics. So if you are interested in that, you can see the link below. There is a link to actually book a call with us. Your business has to be relevant for us. So it has to be a business that is looking for sales reps, is wanting sales reps, or has sales reps already, or setters. If you're not in a position where you don't have lead flow, where you're struggling with leads, we're not going to be the right people for you. We take on businesses that have ads and leads coming in. They're just the leads aren't being closed. And that's where we take over and show you how to build that world-class team. Now, if you're interested in watching more sales tactic videos, you can go on this side and click this button. If you want to subscribe and actually watch us on the next video, you can click this one. And I'm going to catch you in the next video. See you later.